Welcome back to another episode of the Firm Foundation podcast. I am your host, Iconic. Joining us today is a very special guest. Some of you may know him as Alfred D. Wilson III. Others may know him as Al Wilson.
Yes.
But most of you know him as Frugal Freddy from the 216.
Yeah. From Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So Cleveland people, y'all are so particular.
Yes, we are.
East, west, what part of east, west? With Columbus, it's like 614 Columbus, north, south, east, west. But Cleveland, I have found, because I have a lot of Cleveland friends and a lot of folks from Cleveland, y'all are very particular and make sure you know the distinction. Why is that?
I'm from the east side, just let you know.
Okay.
Lee and Harvard, to be exact.
Oh.
But I don't know why we're like that. Like, I know when I moved down here, it was like north, like you said, northwest,
Right.
south side. Like, south is not a side, north is not a side. But I digress. But yeah, I'm from the east side of Cleveland.
Don't y'all only have, look, don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. Is it only east and west?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm from Columbus, so proud 614. Okay. So, first off, before we jump into our icebreaker, if you would briefly just let the people know who you are. We now know where you're from. And why do you call yourself Frugal Freddy?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I am first and foremost, I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a brother, and I'm a friend. So I say that to say is that, we always get caught up in the titles that we have.
Right.
And we strip those titles away. That's who I am. Frugal Freddy started probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
When I started documenting my debt-free journey and on social media, just to try to help other folks, inspire them to do the same.
Sure.
So I've been doing that for about 10 years, like I said, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey personally with my personal debt journey, and then also helping people, get rid of their debt and manage their money more effectively.
Love that. You're a servant at the heart, it sounds like.
Ooh, I'm going to add that, servant leader.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So now we're going to jump into our icebreaker.
Uh-oh.
Rapid fire style. So the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So first question, how can financial freedom be a flex?
Ooh. I would say not in the way that you would think. The flex is how can you, especially as a man, how can you provide for your family? To me, that's financial freedom. Not this
Love
social
that.
media stuff that we see, but it's more what am I doing for my family? What am I doing for my friends? And that financial freedom may help me do that. If it's, paying a bill or loaning out money or whatever the case
Sure.
may be. So
I love that. What makes, okay, this is something I think at some point everyone has struggled with, or we are currently struggling with, or we will struggle with. Why is managing money so complicated for people?
I would say because we haven't been taught. It's not something that's valued in the traditional school system. And then unfortunately, some of our parents haven't been taught. So in
Sure.
a way, they pass that generational trauma down.
Ooh,
And then I would say our generation, especially for millennials, we had to figure out the hard way. And I
That's
think,
the
to be
truth.
honest, and I think we have to be the sacrifice for our family and our kids. So, when we have kids, we'll pass that down and be very intentional with what we want to do, with the money. So it's tough. And I don't like to be
Yes,
the
it
one that
is.
had to sacrifice. But, if it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, to be honest with you.
yeah. Great answer. Now, personally, what's the worst mistake or most expensive lesson that you've ever made in regards to your finances?
Oh, let's talk about that. Because I would say my duplex.
Okay.
I would say buying my duplex, although a very great goal that I achieved, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I did a full remodel of the duplex, both sides, more cosmetic.
Sure.
So I remember buying 30 cabinets, buying 2 of everything. That's a lot of money.
Adds up quick.
Very quick and deplete that savings really quickly too. So I would say, and I'm very, open and honest about my journey. I overextended myself on credit a little bit too much for my liking. So now I'm trying to pay it back and try to find creative ways to pay it down and get it off my back. So I would say my duplex, but I think eventually it'll be the blessing that I'm looking for
That's
to help me
right.
to get to that financial freedom. So
That's right. So a little delayed gratification.
yeah, I hate that phrase, but it's worth it.
For sure.
I hate
For
it.
sure. That's real though.
It is. It is.
Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think people care more about? Being successful or being rich?
Ooh, that is a toughie. I would say most people want to be rich, but I would say I'd rather be successful
That's right.
because you can't take this money with you. You could be successful and be well off, but when I think about success, I don't think about money. I think about legacy. I think about how I
Amen.
show up in the community, how my family shows up in the community. It's not about money for me, but money helps get to certain points in life.
Absolutely.
But success, I think about legacy. I think about legacy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can get to being rich you can't get to being rich without having experienced some success
I agree.
in regards to your mindset, your mind, body, soul, spirit, to carry you to do those things, to work and make the money. So success to me trumps being rich.
Yeah. And money come and go. Like I think
Yeah.
our society has fallen too in love with money. And it is the root of all
It's
evil.
truth.
You get what I'm saying? Like no matter how much money I have, I'm still gonna be the same person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and I try to, instill that into my clients and the people that I help with their money. Like this money, at the end of the day, money is really paper.
Sure.
It has nothing, like it's printed out of a printer. It's nothing really if you think about it, logically, but we put this value on this money and that's what drives people. I got to get the money. I got to get the bag. And as the young
the
people say,
bag.
what they say, the mignon, the mignon. I don't even
What
know.
is it?
I don't know.
know.
Never mind.
I don't know about
the
that.
mignon.
Is it?
That's what they say, I think.
I'm old, so I don't know.
All right, the money.
Moolah.
The bread.
The bread, yes.
That's
they say
one.
bread, bag.
Bag.
I think, is it cheese?
Cheese.
Isn't chicken money too?
Chicken. Oh yeah, yeah. Chicken and mignon. That may be a new one.
That's a new one. I learned something new today. But and this is the thing. Yes, we need money to survive because we
Yeah.
have bills to pay. We have families to take care of, all of that. We need gas, as expensive as gas and groceries are today.
Don't get me started.
But I think more people need to slow down
I agree.
and really think about, what does your success truly, truly look like? What is it comprised of? For me personally, and I've said this around family and friends, and they always go, ooh, that's good. When people ask me, how would you measure your success? What makes you successful? I always say, and I stand by it, success to me is my peace.
Ooh, and it's priceless.
It's priceless.
That's a good one.
If I'm not at peace, I'm not even really going to be able to make money and be as efficient as I can.
That's real.
But when I have my peace,
That's real.
I'm in the right mindset, in the right
That's real.
space, I'm motivated, I'm focused, I'm going to be more productive,
That's
which in
real.
turn is going to get me to the bag, as the young kids
The
say.
bag.
The bag. Ugh, we'll get to that.
I like that because it talks about abundant thinking. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
abundant thinking.
Because if peace is free and it starts within, I'm abundantly thinking about my next move, but I need to be straight first
Sure.
before I can make any moves. And I'm the same way. Like I need and to be honest, now you got me talking, peace can be boring to some people.
Absolutely, because they're used to chaos.
I agree.
And chaos in finances. So
Ooh.
now look, you got
Okay.
me talking. None of this is, now we're here. So let's lay the plane on this.
Ooh.
So people who are chaotic in their finances are typically chaotic in their life.
I agree.
So people that are peaceful, and like you said, peace can be boring. Well, of course, because getting your finances in order and manage your money efficiently means you have to make sacrifices. You're not going out as much.
Yep.
You're not partying as much.
I agree.
You're not, doing frivolous spending and shopping all the time and doing all these sometimes dumb things with your money.
And we've all
instead
done
of, oh yeah, we've all done that. But it's boring to save. It's boring to even put back $250 from your paycheck instead of going online and blowing it on Amazon or wherever. You know what I mean?
That's real. And it's crazy you say that. Money is so emotional.
Ooh, Jesus.
And with it being so emotional, like you said, if you're not at peace, you're gonna just start spending. And I definitely have had those moments.
Yes.
Where I'm like, man,
Yes.
let me just go to Easton right quick and blow the
Listen.
bag really quickly.
Real quick.
But then I feel guilty and I'm like, oh, let me go take this bag.
Right.
But I think it goes to your point, like if you're intentional with your actions, with your money, it can get you to the point of financial freedom the way that you defined it.
That's right.
Not how society defines it. Everybody, I want financial freedom. I want to get the bag. I want to be an entrepreneur. But what costs are you willing to pay for that? You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's one thing I always preach. Like, it's a cost to everything, either monetary or non-monetarily. So we getting into it now.
That's the truth. We are. And we're going to go back to the emotion
Okay.
in its relation to money.
Okay.
What is in the bag? And we're talking about these young people. That was a good segue. What's the biggest problem that you believe young people today have with their viewpoint or views towards money?
Ooh, when you say young people,
Okay, let's
Give me an
say
age.
18 and under.
18 or under, I would say the biggest problem is that they want it right now.
Yes.
And it takes time. It takes time. And getting money can be relative. It can be only $100,
That's
right? But, if I ever come across young people, I just tell them to stay focused. And if it is something that they want to do to make money, find a problem and solve it.
Ooh.
I feel like I saw something on social media recently where it was a young man, he was cutting hair in school.
I think I saw that too.
Hey, he was getting
it was like in the restroom or
Yeah,
something.
he was.
Yes.
Hey, he was getting paid, so he found the problem. He has a skill. He found the problem,
Sure.
and he solved it. And he got the bag.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He got the bag.
So it's like,
And he's being productive.
and he's being productive, and that's all. At the end of the day, I want our people to do. And even at our age, like, what is the problem we're trying to solve out here in the world? Let's solve those problems. But I think sometimes we got to take a step back and really listen to God, because He gives you the vision all the time. But it's on
Jesus.
us to execute that. So
Jesus.
now you got Pastor Wilson
Absolutely.
talking.
No, I love that. Preach. Keep preaching.
Nah, you don't want me nobody's church.
So if Frugal Freddy could give just one valuable piece of advice other than what you already have, what would it be to anyone?
Educate yourself. Read. Listen to podcasts. Watch the news. See what's going on in the world.
Sure.
Because this world is run by money. And we have to be a player in the game. If we're not a player in the game, we will lose.
Ooh, yeah.
Straight up.
So true. That
as
is
we
so
know.
true.
We will lose.
That's
So
very true.
get out of the emotions. I'm about to look to the camera. Get out of the emotions. Learn. Get in the game. Take a couple risks. Do a couple moves. Invest in the stock market. Like you said, save your money. Play the game. If you don't play the game, you will get lost and you will get left.
Play the game.
It's kind of firm, but
No, it's true. That's great advice. So let's get into debt.
oh, Lord.
Debt and the decisions people make. Why do people make them? And we'll just start with the obvious one, financial debt. Okay.
Okay.
So, so this is my spiel when it
Okay.
comes to financial debt. I believe that sometimes God puts you through things and challenges to help you identify your tolerance level. So if you get into debt, it's going to be telling of where you're at in life, what you could do better, what you shouldn't have done, and what you could do to get out of that. Here's the thing. I'll use a car, for example, right? So let's say you have whatever car. It could be a Honda, okay. Even though Honda's a good car, a lot of people desire foreigns or Mercedes or whatever it is, right? Some people can say, oh, I wish God, if you gave me money or got me a Mercedes truck, that would be so nice. And now I have to ride around this old Honda. Okay, but how are you managing and caring for the Honda?
Ooh.
Are you just ready to jump in the Mercedes? Because when you get the Mercedes, are you going to care for it better suddenly now because it's Mercedes? No, because your habits and you not taking care of the Honda, you're going to carry over those same behaviors to the Mercedes, probably run into the ground.
Probably.
You probably won't wash it. You won't vacuum it. You won't detail it.
Nothing.
You won't even keep gas in it. You riding around in a Mercedes truck on E.
On E. That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
You're flexing, but you're not fixing problems. You're flexing, but you're not being functional.
I think you hit on something right there.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, like, situation,
Sure.
when people flex, why are they flexing? Are they looking for validation?
Yes.
Is the Mercedes the validation?
Yes.
Like, dang, everybody looking at me. Ain't nobody looking at you.
Okay.
And even for me, like, I love Nissan, and I can go get a Mercedes, but that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't seek validation in material things. And don't get me wrong, we all flex. It is what it is.
To an extent, sure.
You know, I'll flex with a trip, you know. But, like, and I think that kind of goes back, although we're talking about the financial debt, we got to talk about the emotional debt.
Yes.
Like, where is that stemming from? Is it something in your childhood where you feel like,
Sure.
oh, if I get this car, I'll feel like more of a man or more of a woman, whatever the case may be. Or, hey, I may be perceived as rich. And like you say, you don't got gas in your tank. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got Pastor Wilson speak.
Perception. And perception is not always reality.
Facts.
Perceived as rich, but poor in spirit.
Ooh, I stay away from them folks. That's real.
That's real.
That's real.
Now, you jumped ahead to my next point, so
My
let's
bad.
just go. No,
My
you're
bad.
fine. No, we're on the same page. So as far as emotional debt, let's go there.
Let's go there.
Because I think that emotional debt, financial debt, to me, those types of debt, they are the most directly linked. So, man, I could talk all day about emotional debt, but we don't have all day. So let's start with, so on one of your episodes of Dollars and Cents titled Emotional Currency,
Oh, yeah.
you stated that being frugal is a trauma response.
Ooh,
Elaborate on that for us.
I said that.
You did.
It was. You know, we were talking about abundant thinking.
Yeah.
When I was like really, really frugal, I was very in a scarce mind state where I would feel like I would have the money to buy things and treat myself.
Sure.
And I would like feel guilty. I would save all this money and I'm like, I'm not living.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like,
Sure.
that is a trauma response because if I haven't grown up in an environment where once you get some money, you just hold on to it, right?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with saving, but you also have to live life. We only got one of those. So now in this season of my life, I'm all about living. But hey, if I want to go on a trip or if I want to do this or have this experience, I'm going to save for it. Or if I get a nice piece of change from whatever the way, I'm going to treat myself and then save the rest.
As you should. You need
So
balance.
yeah, you definitely need balance. But yeah, that trauma, like I really had to work on myself and get out of that. So now I'm blowing the bag. No, I ain't blowing the bag.
The bag. Now, to your point, I believe one of your guests, she stated something along the lines of overindulgence can also be a trauma response.
Yep.
So all of that stems from it's an emotion.
Yeah, it is.
What are you trying to compensate or what are you
Overcompensating
overcompensating for?
Yeah.
That's so true.
Ooh, that is a really good. I never thought about like in my overly frugalness, what was I overcompensating for? I think it was probably because I was scared to be broke or poor or be without.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
fair.
That's deep.
Yeah, money goes deeper than the paper.
For sure.
Like it literally is it's printed paper.
We forgot to say the paper in our
The paper.
money, the
everybody
bag.
knows money's paper. I hear the bag more, which real quick, we're jumping around today. It's fine. Let me just be honest. There are some trigger words surrounded around money that irritate me.
Please share.
I'm tired of hearing them.
Which ones?
The bag actually was on my list. It's overused at this point.
It is.
Okay, like I
agree.
get it. Oh, I'm getting to the bag. Okay, cool. Do you, boo? That's fine. But it's being overused a little bit. Okay. Ooh, now you got me on my soapbox.
No more getting to the bag, y'all.
Okay, just say you getting some money. Just say I'm working hard and earning some money. Okay. Now, another thing that people say in relation to making a lot of money or making moves out here and what they're doing is this boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm getting to the bag. I'm doing this. I'm getting my chicken. I'm getting this. Now, here's why I say it irritates me. And truthfully, no offense to anybody who uses that, but in a way, y'all gotta stop. You're overusing it. And I say no offense because I know even like how we are now, we say it jokingly. But no, there's some people who constantly are talking about, I'm a boss, I'm getting to the bag, I'm doing this. But to me, the reason I say trigger words, because people that are constantly talking about a bag, I'm a boss, I'm this. If you're really a boss, you don't need to say it.
That's facts.
So
That's facts.
what you're doing is you are showing me what's really going on inside. You're overcompensating. You're insecure about something because you always have to be flashy. You always have to tell people that you're out here working and making money. If you are, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And stand on that.
And your actions will show.
Yeah. No, that's real.
Your words don't have to say it.
And I can see that. I don't know if we're gonna get to this, but like, dating and all that. If men lead that way,
Oh, we will.
that can, like you said, that can show a lot about them and their
For
character.
sure. Absolutely.
So yeah, no, that's real. That's real.
Listen. Okay, that's a whole other episode. we're gonna right now focus back in on emotional debt. Although it is all relative. Something else I wanted to talk about, which you already touched on, was intentionality with your money. So I think that some people are smart and intentional, but some people, what they don't do is they don't really spend enough time with themselves to understand what they need. So instead, what they may do is go out, be an impulsive shopper because they're hurt from a breakup.
Ooh, emotional. Ooh, yeah.
Because they have family problems. Because they have money problems. Look at the irony in that.
Yeah.
Maybe they got laid off, but they got a few dollars in their account. Oh, I'm going to go shopping. Or I'm going to go get a drink and go to happy hour because I'm stressed. But you don't have money. You can't afford to continue to do all these unnecessary things that you're just feeding like a temporary feeling. You know what I mean?
That could be a permanent whatever. It could be permanent, No, that's real. And I think that's the thing where we have to take that step back. And the people that I coach, I always encourage them, know your numbers. Know what's coming in and what's going out. That simple. Sure. Income and expenses. And most of the time, I would say people don't have an expense problem. They have an income problem. You just got to make a little bit more money.
That's right.
And in doing so, back to intentionality, money is a lot of jobs out here now, right? You got to put your pride aside. You know what I mean?
Hustle.
And some people may
Side
know this.
hustles.
I had a couple side hustles, and
Nothing wrong with them.
I really had to get out my ego because on paper I got this nice job and this degree, but I need to get this debt or I need to save whatever. I need to make a move to get where I want to be. I worked at Subway. I've worked at Target. Most recently.
Me too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that discount.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That was like within the last couple years. The
That's what's
discount
up.
was perfect. And when you have children, and I get a lot of my daughter's stuff from Target, it was perfect.
Hey,
Little extra money, discount, saving money.
Put stuff aside while you're working. Like, I want to put that in the back.
I did it too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I digress.
And
But
most
yes.
recently, I worked at Floor and Decor. And that was after I bought the duplex. I bought all of my flooring from there before I started working there. And I'm like, let me work here. I'm getting paid a couple dollars. Crazy enough, I had a credit card with Floor and Decor, and I used the money when I started working there to pay off that credit card. Okay. And then when I paid that off, I quit. It was like, I'm done here.
But you were intentional.
Yeah, and I learned about flooring,
Right.
which was cool. I'm like, dang, all this stuff happened with flooring. So it worked out. So just trying to be intentional. And I just encourage people, like, if you got money goes to hit, there's ways to get to the bag.
Listen, and that helps you as a real estate investor. Like the knowledge you learn from that, the extra income,
Yep.
it's all linked. And
Yep.
you said something when you mentioned people being in their ego. And you know, people are in their ego because of how they feel internally or their insecurities, but it's also about how they feel other people view them.
Yes. Got a story. So I was working at Floor and Decor. I was helping this customer, just being me. And this dude was like looking at me. I'm like, why are you looking at me, bro? And he was like, are you Frugal Freddy? I'm like, yeah,
Right.
you know, at that time, Al Wilson, right? He said, oh, you really about what you say? I'm like, yeah, I'm real in these streets. And that made me feel good because
Sure.
it's easy to create this persona on social media and don't live it in real life.
That's right.
Because you would, like you said, people would like, damn, I want nobody to see me because I'm working here. But no, I want you to see me. Like, hey, this is only temporary. I still got my 9 to 5. I'm blessed with that. But this little extra money is going to let me knock out this Floor and Decor debt very quickly. And then I'm out. You know what I mean?
Who cares, really?
Yeah, who cares?
They're not paying your bills.
Facts.
They're not doing nothing for you in your life,
Facts.
but watching it like a show.
Facts. That's
So,
facts.
That's real. Local celebrity out here. You know?
I ain't no local celebrity. I'm not even from here. I can't do that. I'm just little old me.
I know that's
In the
right.
cut.
In the cut. Okay.
Country bunker.
So it sounds like in this regard is, first off, don't lean on money to be a remedy for how you feel and your problems. Get out of your ego and get into your hustle.
Yeah.
Right? And at the heart of everything, what are you working towards? What are you working for? Understand the assignment and make a plan and have a strategy to go out here and get it. Even if you do have a full-time job, any extra income, like let's be real, look at this economy. Ooh, you got me on my soapbox now because I was talking to somebody about this probably within the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to just be direct. There ain't no other way to say it. Some of the brokest people have some of the highest standards.
And they be living too.
Living.
Traveling, like,
And
where
broke.
you get all this money from?
Rent past due, eviction notice. But you see them out in the club or doing whatever.
In the club.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm being serious. And if it's
That's
not the
real.
club, if someone at the bank saw their expenses, they're overspending at these stores and their bills are unpaid. Or even worse, some of their children may not be taken care of. And I hate that.
Yeah, no.
But
And
it
I-
happens.
And I was going to say that I think once I became a father, that's when things clicked.
Okay,
Like,
love that.
I'm not only living for myself, I'm
Right.
living for her, our
That's
legacy,
right. Amen.
future kids. So that was the kick in the butt. Like, got to get it together. You know,
That's right.
let's put this ego aside. The kids don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's real. Like, that way of living can be detrimental because it's habits, like you said earlier. Like, are you passing that down to your kids, and who will then pass that down to their kids? No, we nipping this in the bud. You know.
Literally need to.
Yeah, and then now, you know, the position that we're in our lives. Sometimes we're parenting up. Now our parents are our kids. Like, hey, mom, dad, are you
Taking care of them.
ready for retirement? Because who's that going to
Jesus.
fall on? You know what I mean? That is a big thing that I
great
worry
point.
about. That is one thing I worry about.
Woo.
So I'm about to start having some very uncomfortable conversations with my parents, like real conversations, and I'm not ready for it, to be honest with you. But I got to do it because it's gonna fall on me. Might as well, you know, rip the Band-Aid off right now.
Love that.
Yeah. So.
So one thing as we're talking about this and emotional debt, if y'all don't remember anything else, just know your emotional decisions will impact your financial outcomes, period.
Ooh, that's a bar right there.
Just be mindful of that in everything you do. It could be eating out every day instead of cooking. Down the road, not only is that going to cost you financially, but now that leads me into the other type of debt we were going to
That's
discuss,
smooth.
which is physical debt.
Ooh.
Okay,
ooh, that's
Jesus?
smooth.
Okay, so physical debt. I'm going to start here. Some people eat their feelings, and you can be an emotional eater. Oh my goodness. I still struggle with it a little bit, not as much. Briefly, my daughter now will be 10 this year. After I first had her, like when she was still a baby, oh my goodness. You're a busy parent.
Yep, no
I'm
got
too
time.
tired to cook. I just came home from work, and I've always been a working mom too. So it's like, I don't got time or energy to cook. I'm tired. And I struggle with postpartum depression.
That's real.
So I was, oh my gosh, an emotional eater, 1,000%. And because of the convenience and accessibility, okay, let's just stop through fast food and I'll be all right.
It's so easy.
So easy, right?
Yeah.
But over time, I had to pay for that. Not only did I still have some baby weight, I gained more weight because I didn't have a good diet.
That's real.
So around probably 2021, now my backstory, long story short, I've always been an athlete all throughout high school, played a lot of sports. My dad taught me a lot of sports and was really big on fitness and ingrained in my mind the importance of being healthy, taking care of your body. After I had my daughter, obviously my body changed. I just carried and gave life to a beautiful daughter.
That's real.
However, I was used to something else. So now I gained 50 plus pounds and I got to get that off. Not only that, I'm not eating right.
True.
So now I have physical debt. Because not only from carrying my daughter, because for a habit of 6+ months, most of the time, I'm gonna just grab some fast food. I'm gonna grab some fast food. I'm gonna grab some fast food.
That's real.
Now I gotta pay for that because of me being in my emotions from being depressed. I had postpartum depression bad, and from being stressed as a single parent household.
That's real.
Okay, I felt overextended, so it's like, okay, I don't got time for this.
I'm just gonna eat it.
I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna eat my feelings. I'm taking care of my baby. She don't need the fast food. At that point, she was still young. I was breastfeeding. She had formula, so it really was about me. And I carried that physical debt for a long time, and I still am working to shed some of that off. And I'm not talking about weight. I'm talking about the mindset it put me in. You know what I mean?
All of it's mental. All of
It's
it's mental.
so mental.
But I like that. I've never heard of physical debt. And when you said that, I definitely raised my hand. You know, in this season of my life, my health is it is up there
Sure.
because I am getting a little older, you know, and I had to be very intentional with being active because I'm a hooper. I ain't hooping no more. That's a young man's sport. But I have to continue to be active and find
Right.
ways that I can be active, and one of which is cycling. I probably pick up tennis and do like different low impact sports.
Right.
You won't see me going up and down a basketball court anymore. None of that craziness. And it kind of goes back to boundaries. We think about financial boundaries, physical boundaries to protect ourselves. Like we want to protect the bag, we got to protect this because this is the most viable asset is our body.
That's right.
It's going to get one of those. Money come and go.
And you can't get the bag without it.
Correct. So health is wealth. So that you definitely spoke to me there. So yeah, I am definitely, that is like one thing that I'm like locking in for the summer and beyond, like mentally, physically, all the way. So
Health is wealth, and
Yes.
mental health is wealth.
ooh, hey, you got a couple little one-liners in this one. Got to put it on
I
a
try.
T-shirt or something.
I try. It's real, and a lot of
is.
it. I'm just speaking what I know because even when I mention physical debt, well, what's that going to do? It's stemming from how I'm feeling emotionally.
That's real.
But now I'm in my head about stuff. It wasn't even about how other people see me as being unhealthy. I knew the standard that I have for myself.
It
And it's
ain't
like,
about nobody
girl, you
else.
got to get this together.
Yep.
You got to work it out. It starts with you. When I looked in the mirror, it's like, you're better than this. You know how to take care of your body. You know how to work out.
That's real.
So after 2021, that's when I really locked into the gym, which most of you know now. I love the gym. I post about it. That's just a part of who I am. It's
That's
a part of
real.
my identity. And I was raised to take care of yourself. So as hard as it was because of the things I was going through after giving birth, I had to find a way to snap out of it. And what that did, and this is why I love the gym so much, because mind, body, soul, spirit, it's all connected. It really is.
You're right.
The gym helps you physically, but man, it really helps you like mentally. My mindset is so strong
It's
and it's
clear.
directly linked to my discipline in the gym and how I move in the gym. And going to the gym is therapeutic. That also helped me with my mindset and any emotions that I was going through. Like when I go work out, Oh, I prefer to work out by myself. I Other people can be in the gym with me. I've had people meet me and all of that, but for me, I lock in.
Yep.
My music is on. I'm processing what I'm going through. Most of the time, I'm not even thinking about problems because I feel so good as I'm working out. And then over time, you're going to look good. You're going to look better. So you are killing multiple birds with, the stone or however you would say it. And that's what you have to do.
And it's like a release. Like, you got to get that out your
Absolutely.
system. And that's the one thing, like, every time, like, I can think about when I used to hoop, like, it felt so good. Like, I was tired,
Right.
but it felt so good.
Oh,
Like, when I
yeah.
do a bike ride,
Yeah.
tired, but it felt so good, So you're right. Like, that is one thing that I'm really working on in this
That's
season.
right.
So
Now, okay. So we're talking about physical debt and we're talking about emotions. Something else that I often think about and I always talk about at Soapbox is ignorance.
okay.
So ignorance is profitable. Okay.
It is.
So when you don't know about healthy eating, when you don't know about taking care of your body and what that can do for you, not only physically but mentally, either you weren't educated on it by a parent, or you're not doing your research, or you're just too lazy to take accountability and step up to the plate.
That's real.
You're at risk.
Yeah.
You're making yourself vulnerable to being targeted by ads for fast food, by riding through certain neighborhoods and seeing fast food and you're susceptible to falling into that trap. There's nothing wrong with fast food occasionally,
Yeah.
but not all the time.
Can I take it a step further?
Sure.
When you think about that in terms of money, you get all these hustlers, all these hope dealing
Oh
people.
yeah, we were going to get there.
My bad.
No, please do.
You
Continue.
get all these people that be on social media trying to sell you a lifestyle. So I'm all about, like I said, I'm all about education.
Listen.
But if I feel like you're trying to sell me a lifestyle and not the material, I'm not giving you my business. And once I realize that that's a turnoff for me,
Right.
because there are people out here that are desperate in a way that, hey, dang, I want this lifestyle.
For
They're
sure.
not doing the habits down here to get to that point. And the people that may have gotten to that point may not even be rich. They're just selling the lifestyle to make money off of you.
That's right.
Because you may be ignorant. And it's okay to be ignorant. We've been ignorant in
Right.
all different facets of our life. So one thing, what I do, I try to learn from older people that have gone through it.
Yes.
And they're not trying to sell anything to you. So you'll
That's
find
smart.
me, like one thing I did last summer, I went to this Mr. Landlord conference. And it was nothing but older people that worked the 9 to 5. They got a couple dollars in their pocket and they invested, got real estate. And now they're just trying to help young folks like you and I get to where they're at. It's not like this flexing or, hey, look what I got.
Right.
I was talking to a guy. He had like 100 doors. He said, I started with 1 duplex. And that gave me like, damn, I got 1 duplex. You know what I
Right.
mean? And he said, you
He
can get here.
motivated
You
you.
just gotta be patient. You gotta take some risks.
Right.
Gonna take some L's. It's gonna happen. And just keep progressing. I'm like, damn, man, like he really spoke to me. And
Right.
I don't remember his name, to be honest with him. But I remember the interaction, the connection that we had.
And the message.
And that's why, what I said earlier, educate yourself. Because once you educate yourself, you'll learn the game and you'll know when it's some BS. If it's BS, I'm good.
That's right.
I'm good. And they'll stay
Otherwise, you're
clear.
vulnerable.
Very much so. And
That's
people
so
make money
true.
off of that. All on social media.
Absolutely. That's why you have to be awake and pay attention.
For sure.
Otherwise, you are at risk for sure. Let's transition into romantic relationships and money.
Oh, let's go. I like this topic. I love this topic.
The first thing I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Why do you think money causes so much discord and issues and arguments when it comes to romantic relationships? And this can be just a committed relationship and or marriage.
Because y'all women crazy? No, I'm joking.
Oh, really?
I'm joking.
It's just the women, right?
I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a little troll. But no, I
Right.
would say it goes back. If we're thinking, let's take race out of it. I don't think that as a black or white thing.
Right.
Money is so emotional and it's so valued in our society. People hold on to it very closely. And I always say, if I'm married, because I don't think people should like join finances if they're not married. If they're leading up to marriage, there may be a little bit before marriage.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
Sure.
But if we're married, we're one, period. However, there's different ways that you can do it, and it may take time. It may take time until we become one financially, right? So I would say the reason why people are like this with money and relationships or marriage, because they don't know who set the example for them before they got married. You know, a lot of us haven't had that, and that's that generational trauma that is passed down to us sometimes, and it's on us to stop that. Like, no, like this is our family, and this is how we're going to do money. And also involve the kids so they can learn. So once they get to the age, like, this is what my mom and dad did. What you doing is abnormal, you know?
That's right.
And I think one thing when it goes to that, it's all about communication. It's not about how much money each person makes. It's our money, not his or her money.
Exactly.
And we have to communicate no matter what. There's decisions that need to be made. And whoever's good at budgeting money, that is their responsibility. However, it is their responsibility to communicate to their partner, for their partner to be involved. So have money dates. I have money dates. Go to the coffee shop, go to the library, go to the park. And
I was
going to
say, what's a money date?
Yeah, like, hey, let's go. Let's make it fun because it is heavy.
I like that.
Right? So let's go make it fun. Hey, we about to go to the library, about to go to the park and talk about this budget.
Right.
So, yeah, I love this topic. As you can tell.
I
love this topic.
But you said something there that I didn't want to brush over. When it comes to, you said when we're married, we're one. But I will say you should already be whole before you become married. And I mean that as a person, right? Mind, body, soul, spirit again. However, I also mean that within your finances.
Yes.
You shouldn't expect to merge with someone essentially and your financial situation is bad. It's not suddenly going to get better because you merge with someone who is more financially responsible. Otherwise, you're not as efficient or effective as a partnership.
Ooh, that's a bar. Because I would, to add to that, I've been guilty of it. Like, I need to be perfectly financially before I get to this point of marriage.
I don't think that exists.
It doesn't exist. And I think, let's talk about men. I think as men, we think that. And that's not healthy. We need to get to a point of comfortability. And then once you do find that person, y'all can just take it to that next level.
Right.
Because two's better than one. So, like, even for me, like, I know I need to get this debt under better management, right? So I'm doing those things to prepare for my wife, essentially. And if I don't do this, I won't get the blessing that God has for me.
Right.
So whatever I need to do to get it to a good point, it'll probably still be there when I get married. But it's like, hey, this is where it's at, and this is where it's at now. Or this is where it was, and this is where it's at now. And communicating that in the dating phase.
Right.
Don't wait till you get married and start talking about money. Because that's too late.
Sure.
And premarital counseling. And kind of give a little shameless plug. That's one thing I'm going to start doing is like coaching young couples or couples that are leading to marriage or going to be married to counsel and coach them into marriage financially. So
through Aspire Financial.
Through Aspire Financial.
Financial coaching business.
Yes. I didn't want to say all that. But yes,
that's fine.
Aspire Financial will be a thing here soon. And as you can see, I'm very passionate about that because at the end of the day, I'm about family.
Right.
We need to keep the family together. So
I love that.
Yeah. You want to keep talking about that? Because I can keep going.
We could, but unfortunately we have to start wrapping things up.
Man.
I know, right?
I'm just getting comfortable.
I know. But I will say that outside of what we were talking about, how your emotional decisions can impact your financial outcomes, also take accountability.
For sure.
For mismanaging your finances. It can get better and it will get better, but you have to do the work. You can't blame anybody. You can't say, why does God have me in this situation? Something else I've learned is that what you may deem as an inconvenience is God trying to teach you a lesson. So take accountability, slow down, analyze what you're doing, and make a plan to get to where you're trying to get to, whatever that may look like for you. It could be paying off student loan debt. It could be saving up something for your kids.
step
It
at a
could be
time.
paying down credit cards, step by step, brick by brick. And
Brick by
you
brick.
do have to take the stairs, not the elevator.
Ooh, I want to take
So-
the elevator though.
No, not when it comes to stuff like that.
And can I add one thing?
Sure.
Give yourself grace. I think
That's true.
we beat up ourselves way too much. I've done it. Like, dang, I should never made that move.
Right.
Or, dang, why did I buy this duplex?
Right.
But, you know, give yourself grace.
I love that.
Yeah.
So before we go, real quick, we
Okay.
are going to do firm and free. So if you could tell me one thing you are firm on and one thing that you would like to be free from.
One thing that I'm firm on is being present for family, friends, future wife, family, all that. Like being present is big for me. It's free. And showing up
right.
sometimes is showing up sometimes is just sometimes that's what someone needs. Is just to be there. You don't even have to talk.
I love that.
Just be there. What I want to be free from
Right.
is this fear of success. I have a strong fear of success. Although I am Frugal Freddy,
Yeah.
I like to be in the corner. I like isolation. I like to
Right.
kind of just be by myself. But I don't think God didn't download these visions in my head for no reason.
That's right.
So if it is Aspire Financial, or if it is doing a group home like I shared with you off camera, I got to make it happen because it's helping people, and it's going back to being a servant leader. So
I love that. Love that. So we are going to end this episode, how we end every episode, with our mantra. I am powerful beyond measure. The things that I say, think, and do will reflect that. I know who I am. I own who I am. Al, thank you so much once again for coming on to Firm on Foundation. I
honor.
truly appreciate you. For everyone listening and watching online, I appreciate you. I hope that you have a great day. And remember to stay firm on your foundation. Bye-bye.